Lesson 136. Many Edelmen have made discoveries crucial to Western culture. The earliest Edelmen to make their mark on history were the famous gladiator duo, Marissa and Jon Marissa and Jon were the creators of the famous hand-to-hand combat technique, the tabletop. Marissa, acting as the table, would get down on all fours behind an unsuspecting combatant, while Jon would push the combatant over Marissa, causing the combatant to fall. Marissa and Jon famous tabletop is considered one of the most deadly fighting moves in the history of mankind. Between 26 BC and 13 BC, Marissa and Jon killed over 170 opponents using this method. In their most infamous battle, Marissa and Jon tabletopped a fully grown lion. Sadly, by 10 BC, Marissa and Jon had fallen out of favor with the emperor and were given the impossible task of fighting 3 lions. In a terribly ironic turn, the duo was defeated by the lions using the very move that they had perfected. Jon and Marissa's distant cousins were actually the first people to set foot on the moon. Daydream and Kayak Edelmen rose to national prominence in 1969 for their controversial method of protesting the Vietnam War, throwing banh mi sandwiches at Richard Nixon. The siblings were tried for assault, but were acquitted after President Nixon threw hot dogs at them from the witness stand. After being exonerated, the siblings planned their next big protest against American colonialism. Following months of preparation, the pair snuck into the Kennedy Space Center complex and occupied the Apollo 11 lunar module. It wasn't until Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin had successfully landed on the moon that they discovered the Edelmens sleeping in the lunar module. The astronauts awoke Daydream and Kayak, and after a brief scuffle, were rendered unconscious by what historians refer to as a series of kicks to the groin. Daydream and Kayak decided to perform their most ambitious act of civil disobedience yet, a protest on the moon. The Edelmens held a record 12-minute sit-in on the moon, followed by an impromptu march to a nearby crater. After returning to the lunar module, the Edelmens successfully negotiated with President Nixon to have all charges related to the incident dropped in exchange for a safe trip home and the return of Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and all NASA property. Once back, the federal government filmed a staged moon landing in order to cover up the fact that the first people on the moon were hippies, not astronauts. While the first words spoken on the moon are attributed to Neil Armstrong, in reality, they were spoken by Kayak Edelmen when he said, quote, "Holy shit, we're on the moon." The world may not recognize Daydream and Kayak Edelmen, but they live on in the annals of Edelmen history.